Now, I will skip the part on gut cells first. We will move on to the actual photosynthesis. Okay, important part of photosynthesis, you will have to note the conversion of energy. So it's conversion from light energy to chemical energy. Okay, now photosynthesis is divided up into two sections: light dependent and light independent. Okay, for better illustration, I'll just sketch out a drawing of the chloroplast. This is just for your own understanding. You are not required to draw this out in the exam. Okay, so this is my chloroplast. Okay, I will have these little stacks that are within the chloroplast itself, stacked on top of one another, and they are also interconnected with each other. Okay, now what happens is the outer layer here is able to be touched by the light. Okay, so which means that the outer region is where my light dependent reaction will occur, since they are able to receive the light itself. Okay, it's the inner part. Later on, when we have got independent reaction, it will then move to the center of each and every one of these to carry out your independent photosynthesis. Okay, overall equation for photosynthesis is quite understandable. So just if you cannot recall equation, think of it this way. Okay, the plant requires carbon dioxide and requires water, right? Okay. Now what does it produce? We all know that it definitely produces oxygen. At the same time, it also produces food. Okay, so for balancing, you don't have to go about to worry in terms of balancing, because over here, glucose is the thing that you have to remember, which is a 6. Just put 6 on each and every one of these. Okay, okay, so let's look at the reaction. We have got two sets of reaction. One is what we know as the light dependent reaction, and the other is what we know as the independent reaction. Okay, so let me write that down. So I have got my dependent, light dependent, and I also have my light independent. Okay, so in the light dependent, follow your notes. Okay, H2O is being used. Okay, so what happens is light energy hits my chlorophyll. My chloroplast rather contains this special green pigment chlorophyll along with other substances, other components. So when light heat and water is in the surroundings, water will then be broken apart into two sections. One is oxygen gas, the other one is my H plus ion. Okay, and this process of breaking water apart is known as my photolysis reaction in your notes. Okay, so once you have used water here, what else are you using next? You're still left with carbon dioxide. Okay, now carbon dioxide plays a role in the light independent stage. Okay, because carbon dioxide is fixated onto forming glucose. So the moment it forms glucose, this is assisted by the help of my H plus ions. Okay, so along with enzymes here. Okay, so that's why even though light independent occurs inside, common mistake, all students tend to think that, oh, I can have light independent reaction. So why can't photosynthesis take place at night? Okay, so why is it that photosynthesis cannot take place at night? Is due to the presence, or rather the need of my H plus ion. Okay, so H plus ions have to enter into the inner part, whereby CO2 is fixated to form glucose. Okay, and this requires H plus ions and enzymes. So without the H plus ions from the light dependent reaction, which is photosynthesis, my light independent reaction cannot take place, and therefore I will not have the production of my glucose. Follow? Okay, now the next part is not so strenuous. Okay, what you will have to know is glucose and food in plants. Okay, so excess glucose, as we all know, is being stored after conversion to starch itself. Okay, so why do plants store this? Is to make more complex compounds. So these are the different groups. So you see fats, amino acids, starch itself, etc. Okay, so recall your amino acids has nitrogen in it, right? So which means this one you will require fertilizers to provide the source of nitrogen to make amino acid along with the food substances that has been given. Alright, okay, so we will look at the experiments quickly. Okay, so later on along with other components. Okay, for now please just do your homework and then we will go through the gut cell component again.